All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an impromptu Q&A session. Funny, I've been doing a lot of these recently. We just finished up Condemned Criminal Origins a little early here today on my first stream back from my break yesterday. And yes, I look like a buffoon. This is the rewards for hitting tip skulls, and people want the silly Pikachu hat, and I like it. It's comfy, so I don't care. I'll wear it. I like Pokemon anyway. And we got extra time. So I said, hey, for half an hour, why don't we just chill and talk? So that's what we're going to do. We got about 30 minutes of Q&A starting right now. So here we go. Team Terrorhawk says, Min, you got 236 likes on the stream today. It's got to be a new record. Actually, as of now, it looks like it's 242. Maybe. I haven't really been 100% keeping my eye on it recently all the time, but we rarely hit 200 likes on a stream, right? Thank you guys who liked the stream today. I really appreciate that. And yes, that will help the channel. Anyone liking the content, whether you like the videos on demand, you leave comments, you like the streams, this will all help. If we can keep this pattern up, keep people engaged. Remember, if you like the content, like the video, like the stream, this will help DSPGaming tremendously this year. So thank you. Have I ever played System Shock 2? Asked Neurolich. No, I've never played any System Shock game. I've heard good things about them, but never had the opportunity to play them. Ramrod says, would you say that Last of Us 2 gameplay made you miserable throughout the playthrough because of how shocking and violent some of the images were in the game? The core gameplay mechanics, no. It's sneaking and survival. It's not that bad. It's actually the weird scenes of torture and mutilation and excessive gore and violence that usually are cutscene related that are the worst. Although there were a few parts in there that were real bad. But no, overall the gameplay I think is good. It's a refinement of the engine of the first game. But it's the plot and the direction that's terrible. Haseo says, if you have a Thunderstone, I can evolve my Pikachu hat. I don't have a Thunderstone on me, sadly. I've never seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, that funk, so I don't know anything about the show. Never seen it once. Battle Duck says, jokes aside, what do you think of the future? Sony quits the gaming scene. Xbox and Steam rule the world. $120 for a launch title and no offline whatsoever. And Don Matrick comes back to become the supreme ruler of it all. Very nice. Colton Jr. says, will you be looking for a new game to play on Game Pass night on Saturday, or are you kind of still holding off? Here's the thing, all right? I thought that Resident Evil 4's post-game content was short. I'm being told now it's not. Like, I said I was going to do Separate Ways tomorrow night, and everyone's like, there's no way you're beating Separate Ways tomorrow night. You need another stream. So immediately, that kind of throws a monkey wrench into my schedule plans. This week, I was going to do a late-night stream that was going to be like another Game Pass night, where we check out other games on Game Pass, but we might not have opportunity to do it now. On top of that, some people are like, well, when's I Am Fish? And I was like, we didn't even agree that I was doing it. Like, I'm interested in it, but we didn't say necessarily if I was going to do it. And now some people are like, well, we're disappointed you're not playing it. And I'm like, well, I guess maybe we have to see how the week goes. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is a dark version of Seinfeld, says Ramrod. Okay? Who Wants Pizza says, would I be open to doing another playthrough of the original Silent Hill someday? Yes. I only played the original Silent Hill once, correct? Because that one did not have an HD collection. So I only played the PS1 original edition emulated. Problem being, my PS3 doesn't work anymore. My PS3 essentially is bricked. It will not connect to the PlayStation Store at all. It makes absolutely no sense this happened. Because here's what happened. Back when I was preparing for the Halloween Marathon, I turned it on. It worked. It connected to PlayStation Network, but it said it needed an update. So I did the update, and then after the update, it refuses to connect to PlayStation Network. It gives me some ambiguous error number. And some people are like, well, you could fix that if you completely reformat the PS3 or reset it to factory settings or something. And I'm like, I don't even know about that. So I don't have access to play the classic games right now. Unless Sony comes out with a way to play PS1 games like the rumor right now is that they're going to come out with a competition or a competitor to directly compete with Game Pass. If they do that, then I would love to replay it. Right now, I have no access to play any older Sony games, so I can't play Silent Hill 1 right now. Will I ever replay Heavy Rain? I did. I replayed Heavy Rain many years ago. Now, it was a significant amount of years ago, but I did actually replay Heavy Rain a second time and did a full playthrough of it. However, that was before I was an interactive streamer, I believe. I think it was probably around like 2015, 2016. So if we did it again, we could be more interactive with it, I guess. But, I mean, I played it twice fully, so. Carlton Jr. says, do you think Ubisoft would benefit from the Activision treatment? The company's been running on fumes for 5+ years. I don't know if Ubisoft would do that. The people who are in charge of Ubisoft, what's his name? Yves Guillemot, or whatever the fuck his name is. He seems like a real, I don't know, like a control freak. And unlike Bobby Kotick, where everyone absolutely hates Bobby Kotick and wanted his ass out of there, I don't know if everyone necessarily hates Eves, and wants him out so badly. And I don't know if he would relinquish control, you know what I'm saying, in a buyout. So, I don't know. Hiseo says, now that you mentioned your PS3, mine has started to act up, turning itself off when I start playing a game. That's not good. That's definitely not a good sign. That could be power supply related. Down Funk says, the PS5 most disappointing launch of a console because of the fact it's so hard to get in the lack of games. I think it is. No. There have been way worse launches. There's been consoles launched with no good games at all. Like trash. Shovelware games. At least it has Demon's Souls. It had other third-party games that were good at launch. Or the catch is that it played games you were already playing better. Like, remember, I was playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla and personally wasn't liking it that much. I was like, man, the combat is kind of wonky and, you know, the frame rate's kind of shit. I couldn't believe how badly it was playing on my PS4 Pro. And then when I got my PS5, I just continued the playthrough on the PS5, and it was way better. Like 60 frames, beautiful graphics. I was blown away at how improved it was. And in my opinion, I like the game a lot more because of that. So even though there may not be a ton of exclusives for it, you can still play a lot of games at better frame rate and at whatever. But it doesn't feel, certainly it doesn't feel as much of a unique console launch as previous console launches have. Outside of a small handful of games, there's been no exclusives. I mean, that's going to change shortly with games such as Horizon Forbidden West and God of War. But even then, they're cross-platform with PS4. Of course, they probably won't run nearly as well on PS4. So, yeah, I don't know. It's certainly been underwhelming, but I don't think it's the worst launch ever. Let's see. Have I seen beta footage of Elden Ring, and what do I think, says Pinocchio? The only footage I saw, remember they did that, like 15-minute gameplay demo of it? That I saw, and I thought it looked like Dark Souls with new mechanics. Dark Souls with the ability to do, like, running parkour and falling with no fall damage and riding a horse. But that's good. It feels like they took a Dark Souls and they evolved it. As opposed to Sekiro, where it's like, hey, remember all that shit you knew from Dark Souls? Forget all that. We're changing the whole game up to be very different. The whole game's reliant on a parry system. And if you don't like the parry system, too bad, that's how you play the game. There's no way around it. By the way, the game doesn't have any different builds at all. When you play it once, you've seen the whole game, and there's no reason to ever replay it, right? There you go. Lives for Soul to me, $4.20. He says, my favorite clip of you when you say banned, gone forever. That's very exciting. Thank you for sharing Lives for Soul. We're all very riveted by that input. It's really meaningful that you said that on the stream today. Thanks a lot. Continuing on. I can't do a Metal Gear Solid 1 Redemption run because, yet again, that's another game. The only other version was GameCube, which is just as rare and expensive as the PlayStation version. And sadly, there's no way to emulate it because I can't turn on my I can't have my PS3 connected to the internet. So, HaseoX says, would you replay any of the old Assassin's Creed games? If so, what title and why? I'd probably replay the original trilogy. Excuse me. The original Assassin's Creed 2 trilogy. That's the best games in the series. Right? I really feel like to this day, they're still the best games in the series. Probably with Black Flag slightly behind and maybe Odyssey behind that. But that's probably it. Maybe the original just on the factor that it's been so long. I've only played the original once, and I never played it for YouTube or anything like that. It was my own personal playthrough way back in the day. Battleduck says, it was raining snow the other day. I see again, raining snow. Life didn't stop, but I saw footage today from the U.S. of people spinning out on snowy highways at high speeds. You people are crazy. There you go. Would I ever replay Undertale or try the new chapter of Deltarune? Maybe if people wanted it. There just doesn't seem to be a lot of demand. When Deltarune, the second chapter first came out, a lot of people wanted it, but it came out at the worst possible time during the busiest gaming season of the year. So I didn't care. Since then, doesn't seem to be that much demand. Like, every once in a while someone asks for it, but it's not a big deal. Like, we just did games for Christmas, and Deltarune Chapter 2 or whatever was eligible. Some people nominated it, but it didn't make it to the poll part, you know? So. Colin Jr. says, trust me, you don't want to play Assassin's Creed 1 again. That shit is trash now. But here's the thing. Yes, the series has definitely evolved, but it would be cool to go back and see the roots. It's like playing Morrowind. Did I love the game? Fuck no. I thought the plot was boring and everything, but it was cool to see those mechanics that became the modernized Elder Scrolls mechanics, you see? Liza for Soul tipped another $4.20. And when Jasper talks to you and is meowing, do you get warm and fuzzy inside? Yes, I love it. When he meows at me affectionately to say something in his cat speak, I think it's very cute. Thank you for the tip. What happened? What is going on? This is all wrong. There. It's fighting me. The leaderboard is fighting me today. Let's see here. Do I still have the X-Men Legends games playthrough on my channel? I think I do. I think it should be here on DSPGaming. I can't imagine why it wouldn't be, unless it got taken down for copyright at some point. But I did a co-op playthrough with John Rambo. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. God says, great stream today. Happy you finished Condemned 1. I won't be here tonight, but I'll see you again tomorrow for Skyrim. Sounds good, my friend. Haseo says, it's interesting to see you play the original Assassin's Creed game because it didn't have any trophies and we could see how it all started. There you go. I think it would be a weird playthrough because it's very, I remember, it's very primitive. It is. It's very primitive. Then they added all these things over the years that made it more fun and modern. And the parkour in particular, the parkour in Assassin's Creed 1 is like a puzzle. Oh, you have to climb this tower because there's something at the top that's important. And it's like, dude, how do I do this? The ledges are so, it's a puzzle. Oh, I got to shimmy this way, shimmy that way, jump here, grab. Shimmy this way, shimmy that, you jump here, grab. It's slow and tedious because you're so used to being able to parkour on anything in modern Assassin's Creed. But back then it was like solving a puzzle to climb something. Very different. Can I play Vanguard now that my reason for canceling it is gone? My reason for canceling it is that it sucks ass. I played the beta and hated it. That's why I didn't play it. So what are you talking about? What I think of the younger me would think about me now, I don't care. The younger me was a fucking asshole. I don't care. The younger me was a prick, a dick, a piece of shit. He really was. I remember being just malicious and trolling online and making fun of people and just being an ass. You know? I'm not like that anymore. I've definitely become, I feel a better person. You know, I want to have fun with my viewing audience, have a good time with my wife, and have a good time with Jasper Kitty, and have a nice, relaxing life. You know what I think it might be is back then I didn't have those things, right? I didn't have supportive family. I didn't have a great job where I get to interact with fun people on the internet every day. You know what I'm saying? So I was miserable. I was miserable because I was pissed. I'm not pissed anymore. That's a good thing. I went from being a real pissed off person to being a person who's not nearly as pissed. I get pissed at things every once in a while, but in general, I just like life. So there's no reason to be angry, right? No, I did not hear the president of Platinum Games step down last week. Carlton Jr. says he apparently couldn't keep up with the workload. So Bayonetta 3 might be the last hurrah for them. What's my opinion on Lost Judgment? It's a great game. It's very fun. Rogue Warrior FPS game? I don't know what that is, Neuralick. Never heard of it. Okay. Alright. Looking for more questions. Dark Viking says, don't play Vanguard. Even the campaign's pretty bad. Typically with Call of Duty, the campaign's okay. At worst. I've never played like a bad Call of Duty campaign. Even Ghosts, the campaign was alright. Remember? But if it doesn't have a multiplayer that's worth playing, then there's no point in getting the game, you know? Chris Boomer Humer says I should play Dragon Age Inquisition again with its DLCs. It's important for Dragon Age 4. I would definitely be interested in that once Dragon Age 4 is formally announced it has a release date. But I don't know if I'm going to do anything like that now. I remember the cliffhanger ending. The cliffhanger ending is that your party member, right, he's that elf guy, is revealed to be like the big villain behind everything. You didn't know it, but he was the big villain the whole time, orchestrating everything in the first game. I totally remember that. Thoughts on Steam Deck? I mean, Steam Deck on paper seems like a great idea. Is it ever coming out? Remember it was supposed to come out in December, got delayed, and I don't know if it even has a solid release date at this point. It would be a cool way to maybe play PC games for me, because I don't have a gaming PC that can handle any games, but how many of them are there, right? I don't necessarily know if it's anything that's essential, to be honest. Maybe if you want to play PC games on the go, maybe that's its real purpose. I don't know when I'm playing YouTubers Life 2 again, Clyde. I'd like to, but we got to see schedule-wise how things go. The villain says, am I going to play Final Fantasy 12 during downtime? It's a great game. It's possible. Isn't it 12 and 13 are available on Game Pass right now? So it's very possible that those are games that I'll check out during downtime, yes. Parasolo says, I think Stream Decks will begin to be shipped in February. A couple of months delay. It's not that bad. JH says, are you concerned if they remake Resident Evil 4 this year, people won't be as excited to see it because of your recent playthrough? I don't think it's coming out this year. I think at the earliest it'll be next year. In which case, then you got a whole year's time and it'll be more exciting. Carlton Jr. says Dragon Age Origins was the best one for him in the whole series. He hopes Dragon Age 4 will put them back on track because BioWare has been ass. You're right. What company should Microsoft buy next? Charleston Chew. They should buy the Charleston Chew Company. I think that would be amazing if they had all different branded chews. Imagine if they had the Master Chew, Master Chief Chew, and then they had the Gears. What's her name? Gears Cat. Is it Cat? I can't remember the main character Gears. What her name is now. You have the cat, the Cat Chew, and you could have who else are the mascots of Microsoft? I don't know. Jade likes to hear my stories. Well, when I have interesting stories, I like telling them. I don't always have interesting stories. And the thing is now I've been doing content creation for almost 14 straight years. So you start to run out of stories at some point, you know. I didn't have the most interesting life, so. AM Radio says, Dragon Age Origins has gotten an FPS boost on the Series X. It's a full 60 frames now on console. Food for thought. That's crazy because remember, it was sub 30 frames when I first played it on console many, many, many moons ago. Do I like Big League Chew? I've never tried it. It's supposed to simulate chewing tobacco, but it's actually bubblegum. And it was supposed to be like, oh, you know how in the big leagues, the baseball players out in the field, they do chewing tobacco and they're spitting and shit. So a kid would do it to simulate their favorite baseball player, but they wouldn't rot their mouth out with fucking tobacco. But, no, I've never tried it. Simple Bubble misses Sega Genesis games for chill and nostalgia. Yeah, it was fun for a while. I remember I was playing those Genesis games on the Genesis Mini for many months, but it just kind of fell out of prominence and people never really asked me to go back. Have you ever seen Cruel Cat's videos? I've only seen one, and it was the one for Cyberpunk 2077 when it released, when he came out of retirement to make fun of it. That was the only one I've ever seen. What about the original Gears of War or God of War? I played the original God of War. There's a playthrough of that. I never played God of War 2. I never played the original Gears. I owned it digitally on Xbox for a long time, and no one ever asked for it. So... No, CM Fool, I refuse to tell you the story of Kingdom Hearts. Ramron says, do you think the current trend of open world games with boring side quests and frivolous stuff should die off? Open world should be more intricate and more dense, like Gothic or Disco. I never played either of those. I would say I would much rather play a game like Witcher 3 than a game like, you know, one of these Assassin's Creed games with 7,000 side missions that don't mean anything, you know. Any thoughts on the next subscriber goal? Says Black Lady Walking. I have a few ideas for the next subscriber goal. By the way, it would be great if we could hit the current one, but it looks like we're headed the wrong way again. At one point, we were over 330, and then in the last few days, we lost like 15, 20 subs. I don't know what happened. Not subs, excuse me. Memberships. Okay. No, I'm not doing a redemption. One of the Quiet Man. How dare you say that, Haseo? Pinocchio says, when do you think gaming peaked as a hobby, or do you think we're in the best era now? For me, two personal times that it peaked was the SNES era and the... What year was it? The year when, like, BioShock Infinite and all that came out. That was, like, a crazy good year for game releases. There were ridiculous, non-stop good game releases that particular year. But... since then, it's slowed down. Every year you do get a lot of releases, but they're not all great, and that's disappointing. You want every game to be good, and that doesn't always happen, right? Alex from Phoenix just did a super chat. Says, would you play the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot Super DLC? Probably not at this point. I don't think anyone's going to care about that game at this point. And I think that the DLC that came out wasn't what people expected, right? Isn't it true that everyone thought it was going to be actually the plot of Dragon Ball Super in the game? Which would have been neat, because I have never watched Dragon Ball Super. But then they didn't do that. They ended up doing, like, their own, like, weird what-if scenario about, like, Vegeta going God Saiyan or something like that. And I was like, nah, I don't really care. Nobody Saves the World is a new game on Game Pass, says Big Daddy Dubs. Alright. Possibly give it a look next time that we do Game Pass stuff. Holy Warrior Tony thinks that Dying Light 2 is going to disappoint, delayed a couple times and overhyped. It very well could. It very well could. The thing is, you say overhyped. I don't hear any hype for it at all. I really don't. Like, I think it had hype at one point, but the game got delayed so long that I don't think any hype is really happening. It's more like a wait-and-see, I'm stretching my legs if you're wondering, wait-and-see skeptical attitude about it, since, you know, it did take so long to come out. Simple Bubble, I don't know anything about a Ninja Gaiden Master Collection, so I can't comment on it. I already answered this. ABC says, will you play Condemned 2? It's not out of the question. Right now, there's no way I'm playing it now, because I just played Condemned 1, and we got many other things to do, but maybe I would consider playing it in the future if you guys wanted that. No, I'm not going to check out Kingdom Hearts on the Switch. Fuck no. A resounding fuck no. Man on Wheels says a lot of good games today are indie games, so any thoughts on ones I'd like to try? Here's the problem with indie games, in my opinion. You just don't know about them because they don't get the hype, the attention, and the word of mouth promotion like big AAA games. When a big AAA game is coming out, typically you get a media blitz, right? There's a series of trailers and or an exclusive reveal. Sometimes there's a beta, and then you get all the ads. Everyone's talking about it in the gaming community. Is a hype and hoopla about it. These indie games don't get that. So an indie game comes out, and it could be great, and you never heard of it until a million people play it, and then usually by word of mouth, it grows to the point where you want to check it out. Like, I never would have played Hades at all if it weren't for so many people telling me how good it was, and when I played it, I was like, holy fuck, it's so good, you see? But that's the problem. I feel like these indie games just sadly don't get the attention because they don't have the ability to make themselves prominently known like a AAA game, and then zoop, right under the rug, and next thing you know, you never heard of it, and 2 years later, someone says, hey, you really missed out. And then you try it, like, fuck, why didn't I play this when it was a new release? You feel stupid. Because you are. CM Fool says, DSP will play The Quiet Man on the Switch. No, I absolutely will not play The Quiet Man on the fucking Switch. How dare you even say such a thing? Ridiculous. Cookie Win says, I think that's the point. Independent movies are often overlooked, but they're some of the best movies out there, so the unknown is like magic to them. It's part of the magic and the fun. Is Serious Sam 4 in the cards at Carlton Jr.? Serious Sam 4 is one of the games that I did mark for possible playing in the future, and when we do more Game Pass nights and stuff like that, it'll probably end up being a game we try out eventually. Parasolo, no. He says, were you into Pokemon cards and were they prominent? No. When I was growing up, the people who I knew and hung out with did not care about that shit. Then again, it was a little late for me because when Pokemon cards came out and stuff, I was already in high school. And so I didn't necessarily have that much of an inkling to collect. I think it was a younger kids thing at that point. But no, I didn't know anyone who was into Pokemon cards or nothing like that when I was a kid, no. Ramrod says, will you ever play E.T.? I've heard nothing but praise about the game. E.T. is infamously one of the worst games ever. I played it. I owned it. I had it on Atari, and I played it back in the day. I could tell you all about it. Seriously, I even remember how it works and everything. I remember everything about it. It's such a bad game. It's not the worst game ever made. I think some people overhype how bad it is. But the problem is that you were expecting this giant, amazing movie tie-in game, and it ended up kind of sucking. And the sound effects were so grating on your ears, you didn't want to fucking play it after like 2 minutes. Team Terrahawk loves the graphic for the super close-up. You mean this graphic right here? I know it's good, isn't it? Shout out to the person who made it for me the other day, because I can now use it for vlogging, or during gameplay I have another version that zooms in differently, and that one works too. So I can do it for both. It's really cool. What's my worst game ever made? Superman 64? I never played Superman 64, 672. Yeah, I never played it, so I wouldn't even say that. Man, for me, I would really have to think hard. I would have to think very hard about like bad games from my childhood. Well, you know, one game that I really, 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 really wanted to like and I hated was Bart versus the Space Mutants because I got it as a present. I'd asked for it, got it as a present, and it sucked. Its game was so bad. The controls were bad. The premise of the game was bad. The only good thing in the game was the music and the graphics I liked because it was the Simpsons characters with the Simpsons theme song. But outside of that, the game sucked. The whole game's premise was terrible. Aliens invading and fucking you have to like find items, spray items, and do weird shit. I hated it. I was like, man, why couldn't it have been an action game? It pissed me off. I never beat it either. I never bothered. I only got like through 2 levels. I never fucking played it again. Magi Master says Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster is supposed to be coming out in the next year or so. Yeah, isn't it true that 4, 5, and 6 Pixel Remasters are coming out? Or actually, I think the original games too, but aren't they all coming out on Switch now? In which case, I'd actually be able to play them. Cool. That'd be awesome. Have I played Family Guy Multiverse? Are you talking about that co-op shooter game? Yeah. If that, I don't remember what it was called. There was a Family Guy video game that was about a multiverse. And I played it with Rambo and Joe back in the day. It was actually incredibly popular on YouTube for a while. And then for some reason, YouTube took away all the views on the playthrough. It's very odd. I'm not even kidding. Like originally the playthrough had like anywhere from 50 to 100,000 views per video. And I was like, whoa, that's cool. And then all of a sudden, I don't know if it was like later that year or the next year, all of a sudden I go back to like rewatch the playthrough because sometimes I rewatch classic stuff that I really like. And all the videos say they only have like 10,000 views on them. I was like, wait a minute. I definitely remember these videos having crazy views when the game first came out. So I think YouTube fucked it up and then later on fixed it. All right, guys. That's going to be it. Thank you for impromptu quick Q&A session here just to fill some time. Hope you had fun with it. Thanks for chilling with me. Awesome.